Hi everyone, welcome to Red Fox Sewing and Crafting and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. So today we are going to make a new album. This is a cute little graduated album. So there's 5 pages and each one is slightly larger size. They're 1 inch bigger than the previous one. And they're all different. And then the backs are going to be plain. There's a belly band on the back of this. Got 2 pockets here. And then a little waterfall. Really cute and kind of a different style of album than I've done before. So I already made the cover of this, cover for the album. The sizing for the cover and my cover tutorial will be down in the description below. So we're going to start with our hinge, and you'll need a piece that is 6 7/8 by 9.5. So I'm going to grab my scoring tool here. So we're going to score at 3/4, 1.5, 2, 2 3/4. Let me score these really quick because I don't think they got scored. 2 3/4, 3.5, 4, 4 3/4, 5.5, 6, 6 3/4, 7.5, 8, and 8 3/4. So now you want to cut a sliver off of each side, about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. You don't want to cut very much off. Just enough so that when you put your hinge together, it's going to be fully flat. So I'd say about this much. And then so got hinge here, got a space here. Hinge, space, hinge, space, hinge, space, hinge. This is totally optional, but if you want, you can put some double-sided adhesive on one side of each of the hinges, and on the outer 2, you want to do it on the outside so that when you do put it together, your adhesive doesn't show. school pancake. Quarter you pancake. So if you are using double-sided adhesive, after you put this on, we're going to fold our hinge together. Gonna fold this up and make our hinge. So I like to start on the edge. It's my hinge. And you want to put glue on one side of your hinge, and we're just going to fold it up, and you want to line it up as best you can with the top and bottom, just like this. And we're just going to burnish it really good. And if you get a little bit of glue coming out of the ends, that is a good sign. That means your hinge will stay glued and won't come apart, which is what you want. Now, I like working from the out in on both sides. So I'm going to do my other edge hinge here. Fold this over, line it up with the top and bottom, and burnish. Now we're going to skip over the gussets, and we're going to go to the next two hinges. So add glue to one side of your hinge, and you want to fold this over, line everything up, top and bottom, and again we're going to burnish. Gonna burnish this really well. Now, what I like to do is take this whole thing without folding or anything, open it up on my table, and fold it down to the score marks. And if need be, you can help it a little bit so that it kind of goes where you want it to. And then I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to pick it up and fold it over. And do my best to line up the scored edges with each other so that when I do completely burnish my hinge, it will be really flat. So then we're going to go to the next one. Again, fold this over, line it up as best you can, and burnish it really good. Then we're going to open this up, kind of get flat. Don't want to really burnish at this point. You just kind of want to get it. Uh-oh. I did an oopsie. See if I can fix it. You always want to check where you fold it. So I'm going to redo that. Should be okay. The paper is still pretty strong, so I shouldn't have any issues with it. So now I should have two sides that are the same size. Yeah, it'll be fine. Add some more double-sided adhesive and some glue, and my hinge will be really nice and strong, and no one will notice. No one will know that I made a mistake, except for you guys. But you'll keep my secret, right? And as I say, if you make an oopsie, it's okay. There are ways to fix it. And if someone looks at your project really close, are they really your friend? Nobody should be looking at your project that close. See? All good. So now we're just going to fold and burnish our two outside hinges. Just like so. And there is your hinge. So now we can add this into our album if I get the right cover. And I'm going to add some double-sided adhesive to the back. You can put this on however you want. This is just how I've been doing it, because I've had issues in the past with my hinges. And so this is a 3-inch spine with a 2-inch, sorry about that, a 3-inch spine with a 2-inch hinge. So I'm going to grab my ruler and I'm going to put it at 1/2 inch and going to center it so that when, yes, okay, line up the edge of my paper. Sometimes I forget that I do, with my pattern paper, I do the full size on my spines. And then I'm just going to use my ruler to center this on the spine. Just like so. Then it should, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So we're just going to stick this down and we're going to set it off to the side. Now we're going to work on the 5 pages. So as I said, this is going to have graduated pages, which means each page is going to have 2 pieces that are slightly larger than the last 2. So they're all going to be 7.5 inches tall. You're going to have 10 pieces all together. 2 of them are going to be 3 inches. 2 are 4. 2 are 5 inches. 2 are 6 inches. And 2 are 7 inches. And on each one, you want the 7.5 inches at the top. And we're going to score them at 1/2 inch and at 7 inches. Okay? No. No, no. Nope. You just want to score them at 1/2. So 7 inches, 7.5 inches at the top. Score at 1/2 because our pages are 7 inches tall. I am so out of it today. So again, I have my 7.5 inches at the top and I'm going to score just at 7 or just at 1/2. You can do a 1/2 inch or at 7. It doesn't matter. You just want 1/2 inch tab. So I will do all of the rest of my pieces and then I will be back to show you how to put them together. Ooh, this is gonna be a fun one. It's probably coming Sunday. So we are going to fold, and if I can find my burnishing tool, or my bone folder, I'm going to burnish all of our score marks. And then you want to miter your corners. Just like that. So your pieces should look like this once you are ready to put the pages together. When you're ready to put your pages together, it's going to be really simple. All we're going to do is take one side of the page, add some glue to the tab, put it to the bottom, or the opposite side of the tab of the other piece of that page, and just burnish it down. You want to make sure that it's as even as you can get it. Then just fold the other tab down, add some glue, and stick the other side down. And it's as easy as that. Same thing to all 5 of your pages. So our pages are made, and it is time to add them to our album. I like starting in the back, which means starting with the 7x7 page. And I put some double-sided adhesive on my hinges. I do this more of a guide than anything else. You can use double-sided adhesive or pencil mark, or you can just go all wild and eyeball it. It's totally up to you. So what you want to do is add glue to both sides of your hinge. And then you're going to take your page, and really easy, you're just going to slide it on. And then stick it down wherever you want it to go. You just don't want it to go all the way down to the base of your hinge. Otherwise, it won't turn very well. Now, the second page. Could get my stiletto, but I don't really want it right now. Kind of lazy with that. Add glue to both sides of the hinge. Grab your next page, and we're going to slide it on. And with this one, I'm going to also check it with my previous page to make sure that it lines up with that too. And you might notice that my hinge isn't totally even with my page. That's because apparently my hinge isn't totally even. That is okay. You can fussy your pages on your hinge so that they line up with your cover and the other pages. They don't have to be lined up with the base of your hinge. If they do and your hinge is wonky, then your pages are going to look more wonky. If you want that, go right ahead. But I want to try to keep my pages somewhat straight in my albums. So this is what I like to do. page 4, adding it to my hinge, making sure that everything is even, and sticking it down. And me flipping over also, it makes sure that the other side is stuck down, and also that you can still turn your pages. Which, since we're making photo albums, it's always a good thing to do. Yes, I'm stubborn. I don't want to get it. I'm stubborn and lazy with that. And my last page. And now we have all 5 pages on our hinge. So the 5 pages are really simple, simpler than the last video. So we're just gonna go through them really quick. Most of them have 1 piece to them. Yeah, like 1 or 2 pieces, so shouldn't be difficult at all. I say as it ends up being 2 hours again, and I have to edit it way down. Okay, so for all the pieces for our pages, you will need 1 piece that is 3.5 by 7, piece that is 2 by 4, 3 by 10, a 5 by 5, let me scoot this down so you can see the measurements, a 3 by 4, a 2 by 7, 2.5 by 7, 3.5 by 5. Oh, yeah. You'll need 5 3.5 by 5s. So, starting from the top with the 3.5 by 7, you want the 3.5 inches at the top, and you're going to score at half. We are doing nothing to our 2 by 4. The 3 by 10, you want the 10 inches at the top. I'm going to score at 5. The 5 by 5, you want to score at 1/2 inch on one side. Leave the 3 by 4 alone. The 2 by 7, start with the 7 at the top, score at half, turn, half, turn, half. The 2.5 by 7, start at 7, score at half, turn, half, turn, half. And then all of the 3.5 by 5s, put the 3.5 inches at the top. And we're going to score each of them at 1/2 inch. Now we're going to burnish all our pieces. And as we go, I'm going to show you which ones get mitered and which ones don't. So our 5 3.5 by 5s, we are just going to burnish the tab. You do not want to miter these because the tab will show. Our 2.5 by 7 and our 2 by 7. We are going to fold and burnish on all the sides. Going to fold and burnish all my sides first. And then you want to miter the top 2 corners. Just like that. And I have my little scrap jar, my scrapbooking seeds jar. And I'm going to miter the corners. Again, we're doing that to both the 2 by 7 and the 2.5 by 7. So they should look like this. Three by 4 set aside. The 5 by 5. We are going to miter that, or fold and burnish the tab, and then we're going to miter the 2 corners. Like this. Our 3 by 10, we're just going to fold it in half, and I like using my scoreboard to help me get it as straight and even as possible. So it'll look like this. Our 2 by 4 set aside, and then our 3.5 by 7, we're going to fold and burnish our tab and miter the 2 corners. Just like that. Now it's time to put our album pages together. We're going to go from the smallest to the largest. So for page 1, we're just going to grab our 3 by 7 and glue to the tab, and this is going to go on the open side of our page, so opposite the hinge. And line that up as best you can with your page and burnish it really well so that it sticks. I would use score tape for this, but unfortunately I don't have any of the right size at the moment. I did order some. It should be coming soon. And then to close this page, I'm going to use 2 magnets. And I like using double-sided adhesive for this I got 2 pieces. I put one on the inside of my flap. And then the second one, I'm gonna match it up with the first one and stick that to my base page. Just like that. Page 2, we are going to have to cover with pattern paper before we add our pieces to it. So I will do that really quick. So I added paper to my base page. I forgot you also need to put pattern paper on your 2x4, which I did really quick. And this is going to be our belly band. I find it easier to put the little booklet that goes on the front on the belly band first before we put this in on the page. So I am going to line this up on my mat here and line this up as well, and then just kind of hold it where I need to add glue. And then I just like to go a little bit in from those marks and then line everything back up. Get it straight as you can get. And now we have our little booklet on our belly band. And then this can go right on our page. Ooh, sorry about that. I have a tiny desk. Well, I don't have a tiny desk. I have a large table, but I tend to use like a lot of the space for storage and stuff, and then like little less than half my desk is for me to actually craft on. But it works for me. I like it. Now we're just gonna stick this right in the middle. You want to make sure that your booklet is opening in the right way. And that is page 2. Page 3. For this one, I am going to add paper to the front of my 5x5 flap and the back of my 2x4 or my 3x4, and it is going to go like this. Let me show you on my prototype here. So I have the flap here, and then my 3x4 is down here. So you want paper on the front of your 5x5 and the back of your 3x4. So now we can add our 3x4 to our 5x5. So it's going to be 2 inches. The top of your 3x4 is going to be 2 inches above, 2 inches up from the bottom of your 5x5. So I'm going to line this up. Actually, let me do it this way. Then that might work better. Okay. So I'm just gonna, ooh. Maybe. If it lines up the way I want it to. And add glue to the back. And then just stick it back down. So 2 inches from the bottom, 1 inch from the 2 sides. And if you find it easier to do it on your page, go right on ahead. I just do whatever I find easier at the moment. And this just goes right at the top of page 3. Page 4. We're going to start with the 2.5 by 7. This is going to go at the bottom of the page. If you want, you can put some Scotch tape or archival tape on top of your bottom flap if you want. And then we're going to put down the 2 side tabs. And then I find my ruler. Let's see. So this page is done little uniquely. So I'm going to cut a piece of pattern paper 4.5 by 6 or by 5 7/8. So 4.5 by 5 7/8. So I have my pattern piece here, and I'm going to put this right inside my pocket. And I'm going to put it all the way down. All the way down. Let's see if I can do that again. There we go. It's really easy to feel when you're actually all the way down in your pockets with your pattern paper. Here we go. So I have my pattern paper down. And now I'm going to take my ruler, because this is 2 inches and our second pocket is 2 inches above the top of the first pocket. I'm going to put the second pocket right up against my ruler. And then you can put this pattern paper inside this pocket and it will look like a continuous piece of pattern paper. We have one more page, and this page needs pattern paper as well before we put our waterfall on. So it's going to be really easy. You want 1 inch from the top and 1 inch in from both sides, the top one, and then you just lay down the next ones right up against your first one. And if you want to really make sure that your pieces are lining up well, just put down your previous waterfall piece and just make sure that your edges are lined up. And if not, make sure that at least it's on there. If not, you can kind of force it over a little bit to get it where you want. But if they're not all totally even, that is perfectly fine. These are handmade. They're not going to be totally perfect. And there is page 5. If you want to, you can add a closure to this, but if you just burnish every piece down really well, like this, they will lay flatter. And then your pattern paper and photos will weigh this down more too. So that is the complete graduating album. I hope you'll like this album. If you did, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more tutorials, beginner or advanced, or any other projects that we do here, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!